Huge update on Verstappen to Mercedes. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Max Verstappen to break Red Bull clause in order to join Mercedes and replace Lewis Hamilton in 2025. A Max Verstappen break clause has threatened to make the F1's silly season even sillier as the Mercedes seat vacated by Lewis Hamilton continues to make waves. Just one race into the season, it's already been an explosive start to the year, with Hamilton's bombshell exit for Ferrari and the Christian Horner scandal. But a report from F1 Insider has thrown a cat among the pigeons, suggesting that Verstappen's contract is tied to Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko. The 80-year-old has been a leading voice at Red Bull since 2005 and shares a close relationship with the Dutchman. In 2022, Verstappen signed a 5-year, $55 million extension after his current deal ends at the end of the 2023 season, locking him in until the end of the 2028 season. Unless, according to the report, Dr. Marko leaves the team. Last year, there were moves to push Marko out the door, which Horner was reportedly held responsible for. In January, Marko signed a new deal until the end of the 2026 season. But Horner's scandal has lit the fuse on the fresh round of rumors as Verstappen's father Jos hit out at the 50-year-old Red Bull team principal. Jos claimed the Red Bull team will explode if Horner remains in his job, despite being recently cleared of inappropriate behavior towards a female staffer. Hundreds of leaked WhatsApp messages were sent to F1 teams and media outlets over the weekend, a day after Horner was cleared. There is tension here while he remains in position, Jos told the British newspaper The Daily Mail after the Bahrain Grand Prix on Saturday. The team is in danger of being torn apart. It can't go on the way it is. It will explode. He is playing the victim when he is the one causing the problems. Jos was also pictured several times speaking with Mercedes boss Toto Wolff in the paddock over the weekend and met with the German for dinner at the Four Seasons Hotel. He said the meeting was merely a meeting between friends. Jos didn't seem as chummy with Horner, however, with the pair spotted having an animated discussion following the weekend's race. Sure to pour fuel on the fire are Marko's comments, who was quoted as saying by F1 Insider, "The internal investigations have been completed. I won't say anything more about it. As far as I'm concerned, I won't stand in Max's way." Red Bull insider Gerhard Berger was also asked for his take, reportedly saying, "As of now, Horner stays, Helmut Marko and Adrian Newey quit, and Max goes to Mercedes." It comes after Red Bull claimed a 1-2 as Max Verstappen claimed a season-opening victory ahead of teammate Sergio Perez in Sakir. It's what Horner used to brush off any talk of disunity. A 1-2 finish like this is the optimum, and you don't get that without being absolutely united, having a strong team and great support from partners and shareholders, he said. You don't achieve this without being united. Asked by Sky Sports if he felt certain he had the backing of the Red Bull owners, including majority shareholder Chalerm Uvidya, who was with him in Bahrain and was sure he would be at next weekend's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, he replied confidently. Backing? Absolutely, yes. And I'll be there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. The 50-year-old Briton has guided Red Bull to 6 Constructors' Championship wins and 7 Drivers' title triumphs since 2005. Last year's Red Bull car won a record 21 of 22 races as the team dominated. Also telling were Wolff's comments about the vacant Mercedes seat for 2024. "I'm in no hurry for us to take a decision on drivers," Wolff said. "I've been rushed in a hurry by Lewis. So, this time around, I'm going to take it easy and evaluate the market." After the race, Verstappen was seen talking to Wolff, who added fuel to the fire by not ruling out bringing Max Verstappen to Mercedes if Lewis Hamilton left there. However, he did stress that F1 drivers will always choose the fastest car, and that the conversation only took place to congratulate Jos on his son's victory. Still, the meeting was remarkable, as the two camps are said to have not spoken to each other since the events at Silverstone 2021. So now, Verstappen Sr. and Wolff seem to have reconciled. Whether Max Verstappen takes the same view is not clear. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko suggested that Wolff would try to hijack the driver away, but that Verstappen would not simply forget what happened in 2021. Still, a possible switch to Mercedes would be among the possibilities, the Telegraph reports. Not only on the paddock were Verstappen and Wolff said to have spoken to each other, but they also reportedly stayed at the same hotel, the Four Seasons, where a conversation also reportedly took place. The second story is Toto Wolff reveals the major reason why they struggled at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff described Max Verstappen as in a different galaxy as he cruised to victory in the first race of the 2024 season in Bahrain. The Dutchman picked up where he left off in 2023 and finished 22 seconds ahead of teammate Sergio Perez for his 55th career win. Meanwhile, Mercedes' George Russell and Lewis Hamilton could only manage 5th and 7th respectively as the team struggled with power unit issues. Russell had been running second in the early stages after passing Charles Leclerc, but the Brit suffered from an overheating engine and a problem with the battery that saw him fall back, with an error on lap 46 costing him 4th. Hamilton fared no better in what was a disappointing weekend after qualifying 9th on Friday, and Wolff was quick to address the mistakes made by the team over the weekend. Speaking with Karun Chandok after the race, the Austrian was in awe over Verstappen's performance but was also left confused by the W15's lack of pace on the harder compound tire. "Yeah, far off," he said. "I mean, Max was in a different galaxy. We need to look at ourselves why we lost so much performance on the harder tire. We got the cooling level wrong and therefore you need to lift and coast. Performance of the tires, it was a bit of a vicious circle." When asked about how the team did not have the pace to catch Ferrari towards the end of the race, he added, "Yeah, it was odd. As the race unfolded, we had to lift and coast more to manage the tires. The temperatures on the power unit, we closed it up too much. That was the main issue, and then we didn't have the pace weirdly. It's weird, because we had some pace in the car, and on the hard tire today we didn't. I think just many mistakes that we've done, but in the end, we are learning. We have a brand new car and we've seen the glimpses of performance but couldn't materialize any of that today, so I'm really keen to look at the data and see what we can do in Saudi." Mercedes has an empty seat and everyone is wondering who will replace Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen became a name that could sign with the Silver Arrows based on the Red Bull situation preceding the first race. However, that's not the only prospect in Toto Wolff's mind. Sebastian Vettel has been rumored to be the preferred driver for Mercedes as a seasoned replacement for Lewis Hamilton. This would not only be a strong answer to Ferrari by bringing in another world champion, but let's not forget that Vettel is currently retired, and according to Hans-Joachim Stuck, the vacant Mercedes seat is a perfect opportunity for the German driver to make his return. Stuck sure thinks so. Despite the rumors of Max Verstappen joining the Brackley team, the Le Mans legend believes that Vettel will come out of retirement to fill the seat. Initially, things looked bad for Toto Wolff, but the situation is turning around. F1 Maximal reported Stuck's say on the matter. According to him, Sebastian Vettel will drive for Mercedes next year. The third story is Lewis Hamilton and George Russell are pleased with Mercedes so far. The season opener in Bahrain gave us a slight idea of the grid hierarchy for the 2024 season. The harsh reality for the front-runners was Red Bull's continued supremacy. For Mercedes, it was a harder pill to swallow as their chief rivals showcased that their zero-pod concept wasn't flawed, just not perfect. However, the Brackley-based team let the bygones be bygones and put their faith in the 2024 challenger, including the drivers. They even saw positive signs with Lewis Hamilton topping the timing charts in FP2 in Bahrain and George Russell right behind him. However, their bubble burst in the race, which Toto Wolff labeled as underwhelming, contradicting his drivers. Red Bull secured their first and definitely not their last 1 and 2 of the season, whereas Mercedes could not even secure the final podium place. However, despite the difficult race, there were a lot of positives from the race that the Mercedes men took home. George Russell even confessed, "There is potential in the car, but today we definitely didn't show it," and even Hamilton focused on the positives. The Brit had said, "To know that we have a package that we can potentially fight with is really pleasing." However, as seen on X, the boss did not. Toto Wolff said, "Our race in Bahrain was best described as underwhelming." He added, "Unfortunately, on Saturday evening, our cooling performance didn't match our predictions. That forced us into management mode early on, which had the knock-on impact of reducing tire temperatures below optimum. That cost us the opportunity to show something closer to our true potential. It was a frustrating way to start the season, but one we will learn from." The boss has been saying The team has a massive problem on its hands with the car, and it's a persistent problem with the Bahrain GP as proof. However, heading to the second race of the campaign, the boss is hoping for more learning before they can try and fix their problems. As for the future, the team still has a championship-winning potential, at least according to Hamilton. Hamilton might be taking his talents to Ferrari because time is of the essence, and he did not see Mercedes fighting for a championship anytime soon. However, that does not mean the Brit has lost all faith in the team that helped him win 6 championships. It's the same team just going through a rough patch, and even though Hamilton can't stay with them forever, he believes in time they will be back to their best. Talking about how his Ferrari move came about, he revealed, "I am just working on rebuilding my team and trying to make sure that it is diverse.